February is Black History Month, and unfortunately, it is part of history. Discrimination is, both nationally and here in Utah.
Fox 13's Todd Tanner takes us to a neighborhood where minorities were once not allowed to own property.
It is now a historic district.
Polly Hart did the research which helped the Highland Park neighborhood on the east side of Salt Lake City gain a national designation.
It was platted by Kimball and Richards in 1910. It was 10 times larger than any subdivision that had been platted in the Salt Lake City metro area at the time.
The first advertisements in the Salt Lake Tribune promised stylish homes and tree-lined streets. And in 1919, another selling point, only members of the Caucasian race.
This was part of a larger national trend.
A trend supported by the Federal Housing Association, which asserted that minorities would lower property values, jeopardizing the repayment of loans.
Our federal government's policies created and deepened discrimination.
Do you think that the average resident of Highland Park today has any idea?
Probably not.
We love being here because there's a lot of diversity.
Tiana, whose heritage includes Native American ancestry, lives here now.
I assumed that things like this existed, but I didn't realize that they were so blatant. Like it was just spelled out.
Her daughters helped make the Black Lives Matter sign on their front porch, one of several to be found in Highland Park today.
Being people of color, it's great to know that our neighborhood supports us. Our neighborhood has an eye out for us.
Vanessa Ripley and Elizabeth Bradley.
This is the ad.
Oof. 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 Yikes.
This means that when you buy a home site in the properly regulated home place, you will forever be assured of desirable neighbors. Only members of the white race can buy or hold property in this beautiful restricted residence park. All property will become more beautiful and more valuable each year.
But honestly, I'm not surprised.
It's the time, 100%.
I definitely think if you were to talk to some of the people that have lived here for years and years and years, they would see no problem with this.
As for the official policy,
that went on until 1948 when a Supreme Court case said, you know what, folks, this is not legal. It is not in our social best interest. And all restrictive covenants having to do with race were removed nationally.
Today, many residents of Highland Park consider it one of Utah's more progressive neighborhoods, but there are still lessons to learn in 2021.
Especially when they were young, people used to ask me if I was the nanny a lot, and I mean, no one was being rude, but there's just a lot of assumptions that people make.
A month or so ago, I was pulling groceries from my car and taking them inside, and there's an older couple that lives on the street, and they were walking their dog, and they were like, do you live here? And I was just like, yes, for a while now. Like, yes, I do.
I think looking at where we've come, the growth we've made, I think is astonishing. However, there's so much more growth still to come.
In Salt Lake City,
you can learn at any age. Times are changing.
Google is free.
Google is free.
Todd Tanner, Fox 13 News, Utah.